Okay, good morning once again. Good morning, everyone. Uh, last week we discussed or we put ourselves through, we learned CSS display. So CSS display means how do you want your HTML element to be displayed on the screen? Like, okay, I want to have a list of elements. I want to have a list of elements on a row. I want to have a list of elements on a column. I want to have my elements at the top right of the page, at the bottom left of the page, bottom right, however you want to do the position on the on the page. So that's what we did. And we talked about flex. We talked about flex, which is the major display property. And then from the flex, we can now get to the flex direction, which could be row or column, as well as the justify content, which is used on the horizontal axis if the flex direction is column. And then all right, so we talked about flex direction and then the justify content and the align items. So align items works when the flex direction is on a column, align item will work horizontally, while justify will work vertically. When the flex direction is on a row, align item will work vertically, justify content will work horizontally. And then justify content, you have the space between, you have the space around, and then you have the space evenly. You have the flex end, you have the flex start, you have center for both the align items and the justify content. And we were able to actually create the div element, which is used as a container where you can decide how you want the div itself to place the children, the items inside of it. So that's what we did last week and last Tuesday, and it was really, really interesting. And I believe most of us are familiar. That's actually because of how tricky and how tricky that particular CSS display could actually be. We had to hold another class in the evening just to be able to like explain better to ourselves. So today we are going to be like teaching the CSS positioning. CSS positioning is more like, well, it's different, but then it's also a property in CSS which is used to place. This positioning is used to place an element on a particular position on our page. Display is used to decide how we want our element to be displayed on a page, while positioning is used to place. With positioning, you can just carry an element and place it somewhere. Just carry it and place it on it. So that's what positioning is. It's used to position to place an element on a particular part at a particular part or point of our web page. So that's what we are going to be doing today. And then we have common position value. Position. The way we have display flex, that we have color red, we have background position as a property, and then we have the value. The same thing for position, we have different values also for position. So we have position static. Position is the property, and then we have a value, we have the static. When it is static, elements renders in order as they appear in the document where this is default. So a static position of an element is like the default position of the element. If you didn't put any position as static, if you don't have any, like you didn't declare absolute or relative or fixed or sticky, then that particular element is on a static position. Like it is by default a static position. All right. So it actually renders elements in order how you want it to be. When you type your HTML, your H, your P, your UL, how it is supposed to be by default on the page. With the static position, that is how it's going to look like and how it's going to appear on the page. So that's just a default. Then the second one is the absolute. The absolute is position relative to its first positioned ancestor element. That's well, for you to have an absolute means, okay, if you pass absolute to a particular element, say okay, position absolute, that means you can take this particular element and take it to the bottom right of the page, take it to the left right of the page, just anywhere you want it to be. You can even place it somewhere very close to the bottom, but not at the bottom. Somewhere very close to the top, but not at the top. Just absolute means okay, you can place it anywhere. And one thing about absolute, it doesn't take a space. Absolute position does not take a space. If you can have an element absolute and then have another element which is static behind it. So unlike when you have I don't know, when you have a normal div and then there won't be another item or another element cannot come on top of it. So but then with the help of absolute or fixed, other items, other elements can stay above or below all of this item. So when we get to write the code, we are going to understand all of this better. And then we have the relative. The relative element is positioned relative to its normal position. That one is just normal. Relative does not really have any difference, does not have any change. One thing about relative is when you have two boxes on your page, and then you have an item inside the box, right? And you want to place that item anywhere, like you have two boxes, one by the left and one by the right. And then inside that box, inside the box by the left, you have an item inside of it, whereby you want to place the item anywhere within that left box. You don't want that item to fall to the right of the box or outside the box. You want to place it only within the box. So you have to pass, you're going to pass absolute to this item. But then for that item to remain inside that box, you have to pass relative to the parent. That means, okay, this absolute will always stay in the position relative to the parent. That means stay within this parent. Since we already passed relative, that means we cannot leave this parent. That's just what relative means. We get to understand that better also. And then fixed. Fixed element is position relative to the browser window. Fixed means just stay where you are. Don't leave. Just stay where you are. When you give an element fixed, that particular position that it was, that's where it's going to be. It's not going to like change. Even if you scroll from top to bottom, like scroll your entire page, it's still going to remain where it was. So that's just fixed. And sticky. Sticky is the element is positioned based on the user scroll position. Well, the best way I can explain this is when I show you guys how it is actually looking in the web browser. But then to explain it somehow, we could say, if you guys notice on some pages, on some websites, when you're scrolling, there's this particular item or content that will just scroll together as far as you're still on the screen, will scroll together. And then when you get to the top, like when you get to the top of the screen, it's going to like stick there, it's going to like stay there. Even if you are scrolling up, if you keep scrolling up, that item is going to remain there until you scroll down again before the item now comes down. And then when you scroll down again, if you give an item is going to like stick to the bottom. That means I don't want this item to leave this page. I don't want the item to leave the screen. But then when you get to that place and you scroll, the item is going to scroll with you, but then stick to the top, stick to the bottom. So we'll get to understand that better. And then positioning, for you to be able to like move your element anywhere you want it, you use the value top, bottom, use the property top, bottom, left, and right. Top, bottom, left, and right. So well, we have a lot to do today, so I won't want to like talk too much on the theory part. So let's get to the code and then see how all of this works on our webpage. The static, the absolute, relative, fixed, sticky, and positioning. We're going to talk about everything today. So just a minute. Okay. All right, let me increase this. Okay. Let me start my window. Can we all see my screen? If you can see my screen, please raise your hand. All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Stanislav. That's fine. Okay, so this was what we imagine how beautiful this website is. This web page, yeah. So this was what we like created on Tuesday.
Sorry, I can't see your screen.
You can see my screen. Can anyone see my screen?
Yes, clearly.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Nedu, thank you. Nedu, do you want to say something or you're just trying to confirm that you can see my screen?
Oh, no, I was confirming that I can see your screen.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, this is what we're going to do today. I don't want us to touch this particular page, so that we just leave it like this. Let's assume this as our index.html page. Okay, this is our main, our landing page. When they visit our website, this is where they will see first. Now, this is what we are going to do. We are going to have another page where we are going to use to explain the positioning to ourselves. All right, but then I need to have an item on this page that will take me to that other page. So how do I do that? First, let's create. Okay, first let's create that page. How do we create a different page, another page apart from our index.html page? So here we have our index.html, we have our images folder, and then we have our CSS folder, style.css. And then here we have the styling that we already use, and index.html that we have there. So we need another page. To do that, we create another file, just the way we have been creating files. Just right click and create another file. Let's just say about. Don't forget to make it small letter. Always make it small letter. About the HTML. That's another page. Already, as simple as that, you have another page of your website. Imagine how that is so fast. And then, okay, since we already have another page, and then we need the structure of HTML in this or on this page also. So as easy as we've been doing with our index of HTML, we just have to hold our shifts and then shift and one just to have the snippet, just like this. Shift and one, and then we have the sample, or we say the snippet. So now we need to change. I won't waste much time here because we've done this several times. So I will just change this to about us. Okay, and then inside the body, we need to have our content. But before we do that, let's link our styling. We can do our linking in two ways. Okay, we can either link to the same style that we use for our index, or we create another style for our about.html. So, but for the purpose of this course, let's create another style, another CSS for this styling, so we don't have a conflict. By the time you move forward and then you understand how to name your HTML properly, so that you won't have conflict there, you can now decide to use one styling for all your pages. So for now, let's create another file inside our CSS. Let's create another file, and then let's name it about.css. So that means this style is a default styling for our index. And then this about is the styling for our about.html. So let's not forget what we used to do. Ensure that you remember this, the universal selector, and then open this and pass padding 0, margin 0, box sizing, border box. So this is default. Remember to always do this so that every of the default styling given by CSS is going to return back to default. It's going to return back to, just return back to normal. To give me the advantage of styling everything myself. All right, so now let's save these and then come back here and save it. So what do we want on this page? Now that's the question. But before, let's just have H1. Let's create an H1 and say about us page. About us page. For now, we can't see this page. For now, we can't see it. All right. The only way we can see it is because we have about.html is if we come to this browser, our address, and change this to about. We change it to about.html and enter. So you are going to see it like this. All right. But then I don't want you guys to be doing that. I don't want us to be doing that. I want to have a link from our home page from our home page to that about page. So let's just use this CodeCamp logo as a link. Let's just use it by, okay, when you click on this little CodeCamp logo, it's going to take you to that next page. All right. So then this is what we do. Go to your index.html, look for that image, look for that logo. So where can we find that logo? That should be right form. Yeah, this is right form. Then, okay, this is it. I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. So then I need to link this guy, okay, to the next page. So doing that, we already know that, okay, we can use anchor tag to link. We can use anchor tag to link. So we only need to wrap this image inside the anchor tag. So let's just cut this one, or first create an anchor tag. Just create your anchor tag like this. And then, okay, link it to about.html. About.html. This is as simple as that. That's all you need to do. So about.html. That means when you click on anything that is located inside the anchor tag, it's going to take you to about.html. But then for now, we don't have anything here. So what do we want to put here? We want to copy our image, cut it out, and then paste it inside the about. You can either do it this way, or there's one way you can do it again to make it very easier. That's VS Code snippet. Just click on it like this. Okay, I need to move this guy inside this place, right? Click on it like this and hold your alt, and then down. Hold your alt, take it back if you don't want it anymore. Hold your alt down to bring it inside of it. So you can hold it again. Okay, if you want it to come down. Just this is how alt can work for you. So alternative and then down or up or anywhere you want to take it to. So now let's save it. All right. And we have this image inside an anchor tag, which is taking us to about.html. But in this case, we won't use a target blank because about is also inside our website, not an external website. It's also inside or within our website. So let's just use it directly instead of using the target blank. All right, now let's see what we have. Let me save. What does I need? I'm yet to link this about to this though, but then we're going to do that when we need to use it. Now let's see what we have. Okay, now because I'm passing a link, I'm using an anchor tag on this image now. Now you can see that okay, this thing is now showing a pointer like and pointer, something like okay, you can click this place. So if you click on it now, see now it's bringing us to about us page. As easy as that. As very easy as that. But for now, we cannot go back. So let's just go through the process again. Okay. I need a different page. I need another page. Okay. So how do I go about that? I already have index.html and I have style.css. So I need another page where I can actually showcase about my website. All right. So what you need to do is to create another file and then give it the name that you want. About. It could be about us, it could be about me, it could be anything. So let's just go with about.html now. So now we create the about.html and we use our snippet to create this HTML structure. After that, we change the title about us, and then we actually created a simple h1 tag so that we can see, okay, we are on a new page. That's why we have to create this one. And then to link, okay, we decide to use another styling though. We decide to use another style file, CSS file for this about us page. That's why we have to create a different file inside the CSS folder, about.css. Let's just link it once and for all, so we won't have to stress ourselves. Don't forget, after linking like this, remember to always change this href because it is not style, it is about. So about.css. Now let's save. And then going back to our index, because we need to link our index, we need something from our index that will take us to about us page. So we decided to create an anchor tag, and then inside the href, we pass about.html, since that's where we want to go, about.html. And then we cut out the image from where it was before and place it inside the anchor tag. So then that works for us. When you click on the about us, the image is going to take us to the about us.html. So Are we clear? Any question about that? Any question? Any question? Okay, I do. All right, go on.
Okay. Thanks, sir. When you, for that about us, you're linking it to the about us.css.
Yes.
Your linking you wrote, the format you wrote wasn't you didn't
Okay.
add CSS.
This
Add
is
CSS because
so.
this is the
Thank
CSS folder.
Thank you very much. Bless you. That's very nice of you. Thank you very much. Okay, yeah. So now we have .css, ./css / about.css. Thank you very much for that concern. All right. Other question. You cannot be perfect, right? So I'm also learning. As I'm teaching, I'm learning also. There'll be few mistakes. So that's why we need the call. That's why debugging actually comes in. Imagine me. I didn't even know that I didn't do that, and then I will start styling, and then it's not going to even work. I'll be like, oh God, what's going on? Then that's where debugging comes in. All right, so that means I think we are all clear. Let me see if we have answers. Okay, no answer. That means we are all clear. So this is what we are going to do now. We've linked. For now, we cannot go back. We can go back actually by coming here, like I said, and passing your index. Just replace the about with the index. Let's just do that. Index.html and then enter. It's going to take us back to the previous screen. And then let's go back here. So this is about us page. All right. So what do we need to do here? We need to learn the positioning here. And then how do we learn it? We need to create a simple header, a website header, and then a hero header. That's okay. When you visit the website, you mostly have a hero header, a very big picture in front of that page at the beginning of the website. And then maybe you can say about us, and then the image will be at the background. So with that, we want to use that to learn our positioning and then the other stuff. So now let's go inside our about us.html. We don't need this for now. Okay. So what do we need first? We need a header. Like I said, we are going to create a header like this, a header. So in HTML, we have a tag called header, and it is used to create a header. Come on. It is used to create a header. So let's just create the header like this. This is an element, an HTML element, which is used to create header for a page. Header. So inside the header, we need to have a logo. We need to have a logo by the left, and then the navigations by the right. Navigations are the about, home, service, all of those listings that you always see on the website header. That where you cannot click, okay, I want to go to service, you click on service. I want to go to home, you click on home. I want to go to this, click on this. So that's the navigations. And then we have the logo by the left. Are we clear? So now every of those things are located inside the header. So this is what we are going to do. Let's create the logo first. Let's say I mostly like to have my logo inside the div. So I'll just give it name logo as logo. And then I will now use image. Let me use that our CodeCamp image also. So let me just say dot images / I think that's WhatsApp. Yeah, WhatsApp image. This is true. That's a mistake. Okay, so that means I have my logo inside my header. That's the first one. And then the second one is I want to have the navigations. So we also have a tag, an element for navigation. That's nav, N-A-V, nav. So this is it, navigations. We have header for heads. And then we have a logo. We are using div for normal logo. And then for our navigations, we have nav. So inside the navigations, we are going to have home, about, contact,
It
service.
was still on fire. That's now.
Okay, what is that?
Oh, God. For my asking, I say, yes. So is it not burning?
Sorry, it's what's in the cook. Okay, I believe that was a mistake. Okay, so now we have navigations. Inside the navigation, we're going to have list items. We're going to have list items, which is going to be our home, about, service, contact us, products, just any of those things that you like to add to your page. Okay, so that's what we're going to have. And then for us to have a list item, we are going to have a UL. Let's not forget, for every list item, you must have a list, a UL or a OL, ordered list or unordered list. But for our own case, for this case, we don't need 1, 2, 3 on the navigation. We only need UL dots. We don't even need dots. So we're going to remove those ones later. So for now, let's just create our UL, and then inside the UL, let's create our list items. So the first one should be home. 1, 2, 3. The second one, let's say about. Then the third one, let's say service. We don't have a service page yet though, but let's just put it there. And then let's say contact. About us and contact us. All right, so this is our header. Now let's save it and see what we have. There's no styling yet, so you have not styled. So let's just see what we have first with all of this. So let me close this. Okay, fine. This is what we have. That means we have our logo showing here. Then we have our list item, our navigations also. So now what do we need to do? We need to bring these guys. We need to bring these guys to the right, like this. I have to bring them to somewhere here. I think because that's where most navigation is on the website. We need to bring them to the right like this. And then we won't just bring them to the right. We have to bring all of these ones. All of these guys also, they have to be in line with each other. They have to be on a single horizontal row, right? So how do we do the first one? The first one, let's target the first one first. Now let's bring this guy to the right so that they can be in a single horizontal row with the logo. So to do that, since we have our logo and our UL, that means our header is having two children, okay, the logo and the navigations. So, and then we want to have the navigations beside the logo, right? So we target the header. Let's just target the header directly. Go to your about.css, and then call your header, right? This is more like calling the element. Just call the element directly, and then give a display flex. Give a display flex, and then justify content. This flex means, okay, flex the content you have inside of you. That means take the navigation to be in line with the logo. Now I need to push them. Okay, before this, let's just be saying it one by one. So this is what we have. We have the navigation, then we have the logo beside each other, just like an inline in a single row. And then I need to push this to the right. It's too close to the logo. Okay. So what do I need to do? Justify content, space between. All of those things that we've been teaching ourselves, this is where they come in. Okay, so now justify content, space between means give a space between the logo and the navigations. Now let's save that and see what we have. Okay, now can you see? Now we have the logo and navigation here. Then we have the logo here, space between. So now what do I need to do again? I like to put align items, even if it doesn't really count, but then I want to put it too, so that everything is going to be on a straight line. Align item, so it's going to be on a straight line. That's what I would say, center. And then I'll save it. So that's cool. Now, what else do we need to do? That means we are done with the header, right? We are done with the header. Although we are not done, but for now, we've been able to flex the item inside the header, okay? So what is left is, okay, the UL here, we need to flex it also because we can't have our navigations like this. So we need to flex that. Then let's call the UL. The UL is located inside the header. And then the UL is located inside the nav, which is located inside the header. So let's do it this way. Nav, header, nav, UL. Because UL is the parent to the list item. So this is what we do for the UL display flex also. Okay, but we don't need justify space between for them because we cannot have space between. If you give space between, then it's going to stretch from here to here, which we don't want. All right. Well, let's see how it looks like first. Justify content space between. Now let's save it. Okay, I think there's no even space because we are using the justify content from this. Sorry. We are using the justify content from this guy to already space between, to already give us space between them. So this may not be necessary. Let's just remove this. So now after that, we want the item to be on a straight line. Already they're on the straight line. So let's just fix it like that. Item, like I said, I like to make it always item center. So now I don't like this listing. I don't like this dot, dot, dot. It's not making my website look nice or my navigation look nice. But first, let me give a gap, colon gap. I need space between them. Let's give 25 pixels. Save it and see what we have. Okay, now we have gap, but then the gap is too small. Let me make it 35 pixels. 35 pixels is fine. So okay, now we have gap between it. The only thing I need now is to remove this bullet. I don't like the bullet. And if you can see, the bullet is not on the UL. The bullet is attached to the list item itself. So each of the list item is the one that has the bullet. So what do we need to do is to call the list item, target the list item or pick the list item, and then remove the bullet. So let's do it this way. Copy all of this, paste it here, and then li, that's the list item. And then you say list style none. That means the style of listing. Style of listing could be disk, could be decimal, could be anything. That means how you want it to look like. So, but then for now, we don't want anything to be there. We don't want a list item or a list style. So let's make it a list style none. Now let's see what we have. Fine. So we have our logo and our navigation. That means we already have our header fixed. So what else do we need to do on this header? Just look at it. Okay, I think this thing is too close to the wall. Yeah, this thing is too close to the wall. And let me just see if I can give my header a background. So let's do that action. So the fact that this one is too close to the wall, we target the header and give it a padding left and right, so that this one can shift a little and this one can shift a little. So now let's go to the header, padding, give padding. Left, top and right can be 0 pixels. I mean, top and bottom, 0 pixels. Left and right, let's give 20 pixels, 25 pixels. And then let's give background color. Is that man around? Golden rod. Golden rod. All right, so we give golden rod. So now let's see what we have. This is impressive. So now you can see that, okay, with the padding, we've been able to like give space between UL logo and the wall of the header, right? So that's how it works. So this is really looking nice. But then I don't think the golden rod is looking nice on the logo. So let's change a different color, please. What can we use? What will look nice on this?
Black.
Black. Okay. Black. But then, okay, if you are changing that to black, that means our list item should have a color. Each of it should be color, say white. So let's save it and see what we have. Ah, no, black is not cool. Black is not cool. Let's do something else.
Have you tried blue?
Blue. No, the background is actually blue. I mean, the logo is blue, so it's not going to
Light
be
blue.
Okay, let's go for something like this. Okay, let me just type light blue. Light blue. Okay, well, like, okay, let's just go, please. Let's just continue. Yeah, this is also not bad. Let me just make it more bluish. Okay, so let me change this to black. Fine. Okay, now we have our header. So this is really looking nice. In some cases, you may say, okay, I don't want to have color. I just need a shadow. I need a shadow somewhere here. So let's look at what shadow can do for us. Let's remove this, save it, see what we have first. Okay, now let's see how we can add shadow to that. Box shadow. So to add shadow is box shadow. And then adding shadow also, the way we have padding and we have radius, shadow takes four. Takes 4 property and a color. Takes 4 property and a color. So we can say 5 pixel. This top 5 pixel, just top, bottom, all of those things that we created earlier. 5 pixel, 5 pixel. Well, this last two is how do you want it to be thick and how do you want it to be smooth? I want it to be so much. That's 5 pixels. I want it to be so much wide around the box. and then I want it to be so smooth around the box. So, but let's see what I will do. Let's say let's use black color as the shadow. All right. Now let's save it. That's what we have now. Okay, so this is what we have, shadow, but then this shadow is not making sense. Let's see what we can remove. Let's remove this. Let's make this 0.2. Let's see again. What do we have? Okay, I think it's getting smaller. Now let's remove this also. 0.2. So we have oh, this is 5. It's too much still. Let's bring this to 120 and then bring this to 120. Okay. All right. This is not looking like a shadow, it's looking like a line. So what do? We just have to manipulate this. Let's make this 10 pixels.
You can just change the color to white, light blue.
Light blue. Okay. Light blue.
A shadow is supposed to be something light, not something deep.
Not something deep. Okay. That's not bad. Let's use this 5 pixel. Save. All right. I think this is cool. Yep. So we can go with this. Now this is there's no line there. It's just a shadow. You can see how beautiful it is. So I think I'll go with this instead of that color, instead of that background color. Let's just go with this. Really looking nice. Okay, so we are done with this. Now the first thing we need to treat is the first position. The first position before we go to arrow header. Arrow header is the image you see very big here when you enter your website. That's the arrow header. For now, let's finish with this, and then let's use, when you open some website and you are scrolling, this header is going to remain there. It's not going to go anywhere. It's going to remain there. That's what we want to do now. But before we do that, let's fix the arrow header and make it big so that when we are scrolling, we'll see how this header is disappearing. It's scrolling with the scroll. So let's fix.
When you come to class, they don't expect to teach you for that.
Let's learn how to like unmute ourselves. People are just, I don't know. They just okay. So now for us to be able to see the effect of the position, we need to have a arrow header here, right? So that we can be able to see what the position does. So let's do that first before we go forward. After the header now, we need a main. So we have another tag called main. Main is mostly used for arrow header. It's mostly used for arrow header main. That means the main thing you will see on the website. So now let's create another tag main. Then inside that main, we want to have a background image for our main. And then we want our main to full from here to here. Like we need it to full from this header bottom to the last thing. So what do? Let's go to our styling. After creating the main tag, nothing is inside yet. Just leave it like that. Now, under here, okay, Elijah, please your question.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Please, what did you say is function of the main again?
What do you say?
The function of the main.
Okay, main is mostly used for our arrow header. That's what main is mostly used for. You can use main for anything, but what is mostly used for is for arrow header. That means the main thing you see when you open the website, when you open the website, then the main thing you see is what is going to full the screen. Okay, so that's what we use mostly use main for. Then moving forward, after the main, you use sections, but we're going to get to that later. So that's what main. So instead of using div, you can use div, but instead of using div to display your image here, just use your main. That's just what main is used for. All right, so now let's call the main. And then we need a background color for main, but before that, we need to give it a height. So this guy is taking about, let's say, 5 view height already. This one is taking 5 view height. So here, from here to here now could be 95 view height. So let's just give 95 view height. And then let's give width 100%. And then we need the background color. Sorry, background image. Oh, let's give color first. Let's see what we have. Save. All right. So this is nice. I think that 95 is too much. Let's make it. That 95. Let's make it like 93. Yeah.
But sorry, I'm lost too. Can you please go back to that main again?
Okay, okay. This is what I'm trying to explain. Let me comment this out first. All right, we have uh we have this like this already. Okay, so but then I need something here like an image that will show that a very big image. I call it hero area, a very big image which is going to be located here. That's what I need. All right, so how do I even get that? Is I need to put it inside the main because okay, I said it is best to have our hero header inside our main. So that's why we have to create a tag called main here. So we created it under the header, still inside the body, but then it's under the header. Let's just close out the header. So this is the header. We are done with the header. Now this is the main. The main thing that you see immediately after the header. Okay, so there's nothing inside. We just call the main directly inside our HTML. Sorry, CSS. This is what we call it directly because the main is also an element. So we call it directly. And then we give it height, 95 view height. Why do we say 95 view height? It's because it is believed that this guy is taking like 5 view height already. You already know view height. View height is from here to the bottom. So and this one is taking some space. So I just say, okay, maybe this one is 5 view height. And then let's give this 95. So that's why I gave 95. But it's seeming like this is even too much because look at it. If I scroll, that means it's scrolling this to the top. I don't want that. So let me just say, or no, let's just make it that way. Let me even make it 100 so what we can see how the scrolling works, how the sticky works. So now you can see now our main is now 100 view height, background color aqua. But then when I scroll like this, the header is actually disappearing, like it's scrolling with the screen, scrolling with the window. I don't want it to scroll. I want it to remain there. Okay, I want it to remain where it is. So how do I even do that? Is to pass a position to this thing, make it fixed. Fixed will make it fixed to the screen. It's not going to live there until you maybe change that fix to another thing. Okay, so then that means we need to go to our header and then sorry the shadow is gone already. So but then maybe when we have the image it's going to come back. So now our we need to go to this header and pass position fixed to it. So where is the header? This is the header. So let me remove this. Now here we say position fixed. Position fixed. So let's save it and then see what we have. See now if you scroll, as you can see now the image, sorry, the background is now below. Like I said earlier that with positioning does not really contain space. They allow other items to either come above them or come below them. So for now, this guy is now allowing this to come below it. It's allowing this main to come below it, and then it's taking because this one does not have background color. So that's why it's now like inheriting the background color from this, and then it's like shifting to the left. I don't want it. So for us to bring it back to full the entire width, we can do two things, right? First thing, let's change the color so we can know what we are doing with, what we are dealing with. Let's give it the background color. Let's see, so that we can just see what we are dealing with. Let's say aquamarine, and then after the fix, we can use width. Let's use width 100%. So that it's going to like force it back to that initial scale that it was. So now let's see what we have. See, this is what we have. As fine as this. So now if I should scroll, I'm scrolling right now, but you guys will not see it, but I'm scrolling. That guy will always remain there. It will never leave that place. Like it will never leave that place. Let me show you so that we'll see how it is working properly. Let me get an image for this main and then use it so that we can see how it's working properly. Let me use a splash. So Pixel is actually a website where you can get images for free. They have free images and then they have the ones that you pay for. So let's just look for the one that will make sense on our desktop. Let's look for, I think I've seen one. Okay, you can actually use this. Let's use this. Let me save it. All right. I think it's still loading. Okay, so let me just name it. Let me give it a name or hero. Okay, let's give it hero header, hero image, hero image. And I'm going to save it inside. I don't know how you guys save though, but I can directly save inside my own folder from here. So this is it. This is my image. And then I'm saving directly inside the image. So that means I'm good. Now let me go again. Let me go to my code. I think I have the image now. Okay, fine. I have the image now. Image.jpg. Now, instead of using the background color for my main, I want to use that image. I'll take questions. If we are confused, I'll definitely take questions. But let's just follow for now. So background image, URL. Now, yeah, let me say, no, I need image, not style. Okay, so now this is it. Images and then hero image. So like I said from our previous task, make sure you say background position center, background repeat, no repeat, background size cover. Now let's save it and see what we have. Okay, the image is not showing yet. Okay, fine. Now we have the image. Okay, so this is the image. And then as you can see, I'm scrolling now, and then this header still remains the same. The header still remains what it is. Let me try something. Let me increase the height of the image so we'll see. Let's say 130. Just for instance. Now let's scroll. So as I'm scrolling, you can see the header is like fixed to that position. There's nothing that will make it leave that position. So it's
Sorry, can
fixed.
you go over the process of how you import the picture into the code, please?
Into the code, well, I use MacBook, so it's going to be a little bit different. It's just by saving. I just try to save. Just go to where you want to download. Let's say I want to use, and try as much as possible. See these images now, the sizes are not, it's not going to work for your own main. So this is the only one that will work because I'm using a desktop. All right. So this is more like a phone desktop image. So this is a laptop desktop. That's why I had to use this one. So let's look for the one that is also okay for our desktop. Let's look for a picture that is okay for our desktop. There's a way we can search that, but let me just look for something that will look okay for my desktop. I like dark stuff though. So all these things are too bright for me. Let me just search desktop. Okay. All right, now let me okay, let's just copy this. So I want to download this picture now into my project directly. So just download and then allow it, wait for it to pop up. All right, from here, it's just I'm using Mac, like I said. So maybe you're using Windows, you can just from here or from anywhere, you can look for desktop or anywhere you have your project. I have my project inside desktop. So I just click on desktop and then open the folder. This is the folder, CodeCamp, and then image, and then I just save inside the folder of image. So it depends on which window you're using. If you're using Linux, it may look different. If you're using Windows, it may look different. So just how to save inside the directory. So now we've been able to use the image as our background. Okay, and then as you can see, the header is not leaving, it's sticky there. So that's what the first position, that's what it does. Where is it? Now position fixed. So it's not going to leave that screen anymore. So let's remove this background. Let's just give it okay, let's leave it for now. We'll look for something to use later. All right, so and also now that's the first thing, the fixed. Let's see how sticky works. Okay, on my main page now, I want to what can I say? Okay, let's go there. Okay, before we go, let me take questions. If you have any question concerning what we've just done, if you have any question concerning what we've just done, please let's ask the question.
Okay, so you in that CSS element for this area section, you use some elements like background, align, or can you please show us the CSS code again?
For the main, Abby,
Yes.
it's just a
Set the
normal,
background position center.
yeah, just position the background at the center of the div of the main. So it's not going to like stretch or do anything. It's going to be at the center. And then the repeat is no repeat, meaning that don't repeat yourself. Just try as much as possible to cover. That's what the size now does. Cover the entire scope. That's what this is about. Are we good?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So now let's move forward. Edo, you raised your hand. Edo. Edo.
Um, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. The whole linking the new about HTML to your original index HTML, I don't get that from there down. I kind of came late.
I'm sorry, we won't be able to go that back anymore. Okay, what you need to do, you've done it before, right? We created a different CSS, okay, about the CSS, and then we created a different HTML, okay, and then we linked, instead of using the style that we use for index, we're not using about.css for about.html. This is what we do then. So we go inside the CSS folder and then use our about.css to link this our particular HTML file to the to about.css. So, but don't worry, I won't be able to like recap that because you joined late. So, if you have any concern, just feel free to.
And also the picture of the main, can we actually add it to the document? I mean to the HTML file instead of doing it to the CSS as you just did it now.
Well, because we need to have it as a background image, so there's no way we can have it here on the HTML and then it's going to be a background image. No, the only way we can do that is to take it to our about.css and use it here as a background image. So if you want to use an image as a background image, it is from your styling that you declare that. You cannot declare it here. If you declare it here, then you have to start passing some other stuff like position, stretch, and all of those things, which you don't want to do. So easiest to make it very easy, you just go to your about.css and then call the background image to use it where it is. So that is that. All right, now let's move on. Let me see if we still have answer on. Now, what we need to learn now is how to make a sticky. We need to learn a sticky position. But before that, let's have a text at the center of these guys. Let's have a text here. So let's see. Now, inside our main, we want to have a text. So let me say I want to have let me use a div here. Let me say dot content. So I want to centralize this content at the center of the main. Okay, so let me just go to my main. I need to centralize that. So I will use flex again. Display flex, justify content, center, line items, center. That means I'm taking that div to the center of the main. All right. Now inside that div, I need to have content. I need to have each one say about us, a very big one. About us. Let's make it capital. About us, and then let's give it a class title, or class could be main title.
Hero header. Yes.
Hero title. Thank you. Hero title, and then let's say we have something at the bottom of it. Let's say feel free to reach out to us. Okay, and then under it, I can have a button that will say reach out, something like that. Okay, so now let's save it and then see what we have. Although we've not started the error text, but let's see if we can see what we have first. Is there anything showing here? Okay, I think it's showing. It's just the color. So let me change. Let me change the color. Let me give this a white color and then this a white color and then style the button. Let's pass class hero subtitle. And then here we can say class. Although we don't need class for this, we can just call main and then call the button directly. So let's go to our about. We have hero title. Let's say dot hero title. So we can say font size. Let's increase the font size. Make it 50 pixel. Color. Let's make it white. And then yeah, text align. Let's make it center. Okay, and then the second one is hero subtitle. So let's say this will now have the same property but different values. So now be, let's say 20 pixel. And then the button, main button. So you can now say padding. Top and bottom, let's say 10 pixel, 40 pixel. Then border radius, let's give it just roundly, let's give it 10 pixel. And then background color, let's make it transparent. And then let's give border, let's give border 1 pixel, solid light blue. Then let's see if you can give shadow, something shadow, box shadow. I hope you are following. All of these things we have used it before. That's why I don't want to explain it anymore. So
Yes, I'm following.
1 pixel. Let me copy from the shadow that we used here. 1 pixel, 5 pixel. Okay. 5 pixel, and then light blue. All right. Now let's see what we have. This is like taking forever to update. Okay, now I think I need this text to be white and then I need space between them. So let me go back.
Your boss said on this one.
What do you say?
The boss shadow on this one. So,
No, I didn't get that. Color white. That's the text color should be white. And then okay. Text color should be white. And then let me give small space between each of it. Let me say, okay, feel free to give us some space. Let's say margin top and bottom, say 20 pixel. I don't need space in between. Okay, so that's what we have. This thing is taking forever to update. Okay. Let me give this margin top. Margin top. 40 pixel. All right, and then let's say I need everything to be at the center. I need everything to be at the center. So I can just target the div that I put all of these and then say text align center for the entire div. So this is what I would do. That div, I don't think I've started that div at all. So that's content. Let me just call content. Let me call content dot content. And then text align center. So just save that. Then let's see. See what we have. Fine. So now this is, I think this is better. Okay. So I need this particular about us not to leave the screen, for example. That's what we want to do. For sticky, I don't want it to leave the screen. I want it to remain there. Okay, so how do I do? Let me make it bigger first. Those things are kind of small. Let me make it bigger. I'm coming, Sammy. I'll attend to that. So let's say this 40. Okay, so let me give a subtitle margin top. Uh-oh, let me tell me the mistake. Margin top should be 40 also. All right. Okay, so this is better now. Now we have about us very big, feel free, and then the button can also be bigger, but let's forget about that for now. So now let me make that particular about us not to leave the screen. So for us to do that, all of this thing that we are doing is just for us to learn how to use the sticky. Already we've learned how to use the fixed. This one is just fixed on the screen. Now let me increase this to like 200, and then let me make that content to have a position of sticky. Position of sticky. And then I will now say, okay, where do you I want it to be sticky when you get to this particular place at the top. So we have top, right, bottom, left. So I need you to be sticky when you get to this particular position at the top. So we can say top 10 pixel, or let's say 5 pixel at the top. When you get to this position at the top, now be sticky there. Please don't go anywhere. So let's see how that works. This thing is updating. Okay, so now let me show you guys. See, as you can see, if you move this screen like this now this thing is going to, as in, it's going to remain, even if there are a lot of things remaining. Let me make that 200, 300. Make it 300. Save it. Okay. Now, oh God, the system is hanging. All right, so this is what we have. So because I made it sticky to the screen, that means, and I said top. Okay, when you get to the top, like, this is top, this particular place is the top. All right, and then when you get to the top of about 5 pixel, please just remain sticky there. Don't go any place again. So that's it. So even if anything I do apart from that one, after that thing now, it's going to be scrolling under it. Everything is going to like scroll under it instead of it being scrolling together with the screen. So it's not going to scroll under it, right? So that's what sticky does. The sticky and the fixed is different. Sticky will still move as far as you have not gotten to that 5 pixel of the top. All right, so it's still going to keep moving. And trust me, if you move downward, it's going to leave the screen. So for me to make it sticky to the bottom also, I will just say bottom 5 pixel. Let's see it now. We'll say bottom 5 pixel also. That means when you get to 5 pixel of the bottom, I want you to remain there. Don't go any place again. All right, so let's see how this thing is. Okay, can you see now? So now at the bottom, this about us remain on the screen of 5 pixel, and then at the top of 5 pixel, the about us remain on the screen. Are we clear? Do you have any question about that? Are we clear?
Please repeat that sticky again. I don't think I'm clear.
Okay, this is what sticky does. When you pass sticky to a particular content, then you say, okay, if you did not pass position top and bottom, it's not going to work because it does not know which part should it be sticky to. Okay, so let me just do this first. Let me do this and save it. So now if I should take it like this, up and bottom, I should take it like this, up and bottom. See, the sticky is not working because I did not pass any position, any sticky space or any position pixel or position for it. So, but then with the help of top and bottom, top means, okay, when you get to the 5 pixel of the top, this is top here, this is right, this is left, and this is bottom. So when you get to the 5 pixel of the top, just remain sticky there, don't leave. So that's just the idea of the sticky. So if I should now pass, let me uncomment this and then save it, uncomment this, save it, and then let's see what we have. So let me just do that again. My system is hanging. So now this is what we have. As you can see, because I already passed top 5 pixels, that means if you get to the 5 pixels of the top, just remain there. So anything apart from that will now be scrolling under it. Just we have this scroller now. Going to be scrolling, right? So that's the idea of sticky. While relative is also the same thing, but relative does not really, it's not the same thing, sorry, does not really have effects like that. But one thing relative does is, if I should pass 5 pixels to relative, for example, let me try something. Let's do something. Let's go to that name. Let's say padding top. You don't have to worry about it. Padding top. Let's see. 40 pixels. Now let me save it. Okay. And then this is what I want. All right, so this is what I want now. I don't want, if you notice this 5 pixel, the about us is actually a relative to the screen, to the entire screen. But if I want it to be relative to this image only, I want it to be relative to this image only, then I will now have to pass relative to that image, so that the 5 pixel, this image, this about us is going to be taken, is going to be 5 pixel of the image, not 5 pixel of the screen. It's going to be taking 5 pixel of the image, not 5 pixel of the screen. So let's try that. This thing may look a little bit confusing, though. You guys should not worry. You get to understand it properly when you start using it. Position relative. Now I'm saving. So let's see what we have. Okay. Okay. So this is it. As you can see now, it is not this initially this about us was actually relative to the entire screen. Okay. But right now, with the help of relative passing to the image now, or to the main, now the about us is now relative to the image itself instead of the screen. That's just what it does. It's not relative. It's now taking the 5 pixel top from the screen instead of taking, from the main, instead of taking 5 pixel top from the screen. So that's just different. We don't really use relative most of the time. The only time we use relative is when we need this particular positioning or top bottom to not pass within a scope of a div. So that's when you use the relative. But then I don't really like using it. Even the positioning, I don't really like using it. But in some cases, you may need to use it so that you have your actual design from the designer. If you really need to get the actual design from the designer, you need to use positioning, because some design may actually be somewhere that the flex cannot be able to work with. So in that case, you have to pass your positioning and make it sticky, make it absolute or sticky or fixed, so as to meet up with some of the design scope. So that's just what the relative, the sticky, and then the fixed is about. So this is the fixed, this is the stick, and then the relative. What relative does is, if I pass relative to this, I can move this to the right, to the left, to the bottom, or anywhere I want it to be on the screen. All right, so let's try and change the sticky to relative. Let's change it to relative. Relative. Now let's save it. So relative will now take, okay, relative now, instead of scrolling, relative will now wait. Sorry, I say relative. That should be absolute. Absolute. Instead of waiting for you, to scroll, relative will go and stay there for you. That's what relative. Sorry, absolute. Why do I keep mixing it up? Absolute will go there and wait for you. Now let's see. Already we have. Let me remove the button. We have absolute as top 5 pixel, right? So for now, this particular content will go and wait for you at the top of the screen. So let's allow this thing to update. All right, so now as you can see, we don't even need to scroll at all. Automatically, the absolute will actually push or take that particular content to top 5 pixels of the page. Top 5 pixels. If I want to bring it to the right also, I can say, let me just take it to the right 5 pixels. right 5 pixel. Now let me save it. And then let's see what we have. See, so that's right 5 pixel. As easy as that. So absolute, we always like just okay with absolute, you can take this thing to the right, take it to the top with the F to the top. And if you want it to come down a little bit, you can just pass top, let's say top 15 pixel. So however you want it to be, that's how you can use your top, right, bottom. So now let's see what we have now. It's just taking time for this thing.
Input to your system is very low.
Exactly. That's I don't know why. I don't know what is wrong right now. So it just happened like that. So that is just the idea of the old stuff. So top relative absolute will actually make you arrange or take your content to any place you want it on the screen. I don't know what is wrong with my system. It's actually very low and slow. So it's going to like make you take. You can bring this thing with the help of absolute. Just bring it and bring it to this left. How do we do that? You say bottom. You know, you have to bring it to the left. So you can either say top 100%. That means push it to 100% of top. So just push it to the bottom. Or you can say bottom 0. Bottom 0 will drag it. That means I don't want this thing to have any space with the bottom from the bottom. So bottom 0 will drag it to the bottom. Okay, and then left 0 will drag it to the left. So something like this. Let's try it. Let's say left 0 and then bottom 0. So let's save it. And let's see what we have. The system is really so this is what we have. So here with the help of absolute, we don't even need to scroll. Automatically we can position our content anywhere we want it on the page, anywhere we want it on the page. So I'm going to stop here. I want I don't know if Femi Blaze will actually take questions from here. Femi Blaze will take questions from us, and then if you have any concern, anything you don't understand about the positioning, I would like to take a class this night also the way we did it the last time, so that we can explain better for us, for ourselves, how positioning is, how relative, absolute, sticky, and fixed, and the like. So the same time that we had the last class on Tuesday, that will be around 9 p.m. And we're going to have it till we are tired, just the way we did it last time. So my system is really misfunctioning. I don't know what is wrong. It's getting really, really hot. So I need to put it down, and I will just allow Femi Blaze to take up with the questions and answer. And then you guys, please, I'm very sorry for what happened today. It's just I don't know what's wrong with my system. So let's have a lovely day. I will leave now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was 10 p.m.
Eh?
It was 10 p.m. we did the last one.
Okay, the last one was 10 p.m. Okay, fine.
Yes.
10 p.m. is fine.
It was 9.
Yes.
It was 9, please. Yes.
It was 9, not 10.
Okay.
Please, we are using Zoom this time, not Teams.
Okay, anyone you guys want, just share me the link. I'll be available. I think are we okay? Yeah. So Femi Blaze will take questions from us. Let me check if he's online. Okay, I don't think Femi Blaze is online. Okay, he's not online currently, so I'm very sorry. My system is I don't want my system to like crash because it's getting too hot. I need to just shut it down for a while. The system has been up for like 2 months. I don't shut it down, so I think that's just what is causing.
Sorry, boss. I just wanted HTML code for the about of HTML.
The about of HTML.
Yes, I just wanted to see the code, that button side especially, because I was confused about it.
Okay. All right. So let me just take it there. So this is what we have. As you can see, we are all okay with the header. There's no problem with the header. This is the main. So this is the arrow title, the about us, and this is the content that we are playing with. This is the content we are playing with. So that's the one we are taking up and down, up and down. All right. So this is the button. I did not pass any class to the button. It's just I call the button directly, reach out. Okay, and it is inside the content. Sorry, and this is the styling for the button.
Okay.
This is the styling for the button.
Oh, yeah, I understand. That's what I wanted. Because I was searching for the buttons and I didn't see it.
All right, thank you very much. Let's actually meet on Discord. Let's meet on this board again. If you have any questions, just feel free to screenshot what you have and send it to my DM. And as soon as I'm available and I'm ready to respond, I will attend to your questions. I'm very sorry for what happened
Thank you,
today.
sir. Thank you,
Very
sir.
sorry. We'll meet again tonight. Thank you very much, and have a blessed day.
We're meeting again tomorrow. Did you just say we're meeting again tomorrow?